A lot of the SEO strategy breakdowns that we've done on this channel for those very big websites usually have a few things in common. Number one, a lot of these websites have high domain ratings, which means that they're websites with very high authority. Number two, a lot of these websites have phenomenal on-page SEO. And number three, they invest very heavily in their content. But there's a pattern behind a lot of these SEO strategy breakdowns that you guys might have noticed, because a lot of these big websites take an important shortcut to get a huge chunk of their traffic. And that shortcut is programmatic SEO. So what is programmatic SEO? So I've personally defined it as the process of finding a large group of keywords that have the same head term with some slight modifier. I'm gonna give you guys a couple examples here, but once we have those list of keywords, what we then do is we build a bunch of structurally identical landing pages at scale to target those keywords to then gain traffic, obviously, but also topical authority. Now, it's a bit of a mouthful, so let me show you guys a real example here of what the set of keywords could look like. One of the best examples here for programmatic SEO is taking the head keyword and adding a modifier that has to do with some type of location. So an example here could be weather in, which I've added to Ahrefs, and inside of the matching terms, we see all the different keywords that we're getting. So we're seeing weather in Chicago, Las Vegas, Miami, Florida. So this set of keywords, this massive list of all the different cities and towns in the US, is a perfect example of where we would employ programmatic SEO, right? So basically, we'd like to create landing pages for each of these keywords. They obviously all have their own volume and their own traffic. So let me give you guys a couple of real examples that we've previously covered on this channel, starting off with Canva. So Canva has this create section inside of their website. And as you guys can see, it's basically just a landing page that points to a bunch of other landing pages for different keywords that they're targeting. So we're going to see that the main keyword here is, if I click into one of these, so free online resume builder. And then if I go into business cards, it's going to be free business card maker, right? It's going to be that free builder or free maker with that modifier in the middle for whatever type of document or service they're offering. So with that keyword, what they're doing is they're building a very basic landing page that's targeting all of these keywords at scale. And again, we can see all the different keywords right here, right? All these different pages are targeting relevant keywords that have their own type of traffic. And so if we go back here into the business card one, we can see that the landing page is actually quite simple. So if we scroll through down here, we're going to see that it isn't too long. There's a couple sections here that we're going to cover in a second. Little FAQ down here, some internal links as we've seen before, and then some templates just to finish off the page. Now, again, if we go into resumes, we're going to see that structurally, this is the same page, right? So again, just scroll down, the FAQ, internal links, and then all those templates that we just saw. So as simple as these landing pages look, if we actually plug this into Ahrefs really quickly, we're going to see that specifically for the subfolder, right, for all those pages that we just saw, which weren't that many, Canva is getting around 7 million in monthly organic traffic. So it's extremely powerful to build these pages with programmatic SEO, to build a lot of these landing pages at scale. There's another video that I've done on this channel that talks about Wise, and there's a couple of real good examples there of programmatic SEO. So here's an example right here. So if we actually go to the Wise homepage and we actually scroll down here, there's going to be an example that's quite obvious. So all the way down at the bottom, we're going to find that keyword send money to, right? That's the keyword head. And then we're going to see all the modifiers are the different countries that we can send money to, right? So let's say click Croatia. We're going to see that we're getting that main keyword send money to Croatia, a landing page that again isn't super complicated, but they're doing just enough, right, to target that keyword. And then if we go back to that page and I select, let's say Singapore, we're going to see an identical page structurally, but obviously the content on this page is going to be completely different. So very interesting how a lot of these very big websites are doing this at scale. I do have a full playlist where I talk about all these different SEO strategy breakdowns for a lot of big companies. Highly recommend you check it out. You can find it right here. So now let's talk about how we can do this exact strategy, right? How do we get started with programmatic SEO? Does it even make sense for my website, for my business? So the first thing that we would need to do is find those set of keywords, right? So not every business will have this flexibility with keyword and this amount of keywords that we can develop develop with landing pages. But if indeed you do have that amount of keywords, this is where we would start. So first thing is we need to find that keyword head term, right? So as we saw before, we had that weather in plus that location modifier. But another example here is vegan restaurants in, and this could be hotels, attractions, a variety of different things that obviously have that location modifier. And we're going to see those results are very, very similar. So best vegan restaurants in Chicago, in Atlanta, in Houston, Asheville, Austin, right? So and the list goes on and on. This is a perfect example. And this is where a lot of those TripAdvisor, Yelp websites perform so well, right? Because they build these landing pages at scale for all of these locations. Now, once we have that keyword head, and we've also found those modifiers, we then turn to the content, right? And as we can imagine, the landing page is the main focus of the programmatic SEO strategy. And so we need to build a landing page that is structurally and on-page wise perfect. So if we go back to the Canva example here, we can just check out a few things that they've done that's going to give us a really great example of some of the basic things that we need to do. So I'm just going to quickly inspect this page right here, and I'm just going to highlight over this. We're going to see that this first bit of text that we have right here is an H1. So we'd want to have that main keyword plus the modifier as the H1. We can then scroll down a little bit, check out this image. I'm just going to take a look at this alt text right here. So we have resume, nothing too complicated, but just that extra level of relevance, just that Google knows what this image is talking about. So pretty simple so far. So a little bit of content here. We then have this section where we have, I believe this is an H2 right here, and then a 1 through 5 kind of instruction for the how-to variation of this keyword, which is definitely trying to get a featured snippet. So if we do have that opportunity, highly recommend we add this to our content. We then move further down, and we're going to say there's a bunch of other H2s, again, also talking about some type of variation of that main keyword. So create a resume for every industry, and then other marketing copy that they've added. Towards the end, we then have an FAQ, which I believe this is an H2. Then we have the FAQs down here. And one last very important thing is these interlinks that we're going to talk about now in just a second. So nothing too complicated here, guys. The landing page that we build doesn't have to be overly complicated. We just need to make sure that we're putting all the right things in the right places. That's going to take us very far already. Now, once we've built the structure of those pages, we then need to think about the content. Now, it would be super easy for me to tell you guys that you can add the same content on all of these pages, but unfortunately, the truth is that we need to create content for each single landing page that we're going to create. There's a high likelihood that Google will catch up to you if you're creating duplicate content for all of these pages, right? So we need to invest in creating unique content. Things are going to go a lot better if we do that. And also just a quick note about AI content. I am going to be making a video on creating content with AI really soon, but for programmatic SEO, I think it's a great idea to have AI help you with the ideation and with some of the content creation, but please make sure that you're revising all the content that the AI is producing to make sure that it's legible and it's actually high quality. If we don't, there's definitely a high likelihood that Google is going to find that low quality content. And now, guys, the last thing we need to think about is those interlinks, right? We're going to be creating a lot of pages at scale. We need to make sure that all of these pages are properly connected. We're not accidentally creating orphan pages. And we also want to make sure that the authority is flowing from one page to another. If one of them happens to rank and get a bunch of backlinks, all that authority is flowing to all the different pages inside of our programmatic SEO strategy. If you guys liked this video, I highly recommend you guys check out this playlist where, again, I break down all these highly successful SEO strategies. And if you guys want me to teach you SEO from scratch, check the link in the description to my SEO course. Thanks for sticking till the end, guys. I'll see you in the next one.